Alright, so back to this. Um, yeah, I guess in the previous parts, I actually don't remember what day we left off. I think it was Friday, but ultimately the main interactions in that part were, I'd say, or the most notable interactions. Obviously, there was a lot of interaction between the MC and Sayori since, this is her route, her episode, right? But I'd say the most notable ones were between Monica and Sayori. And Sayori ultimately, even though she already revealed it implicit, or she already basically said it implicitly through her poems, she actually said explicitly, to Monica that she is a thing for the MC. So ultimately, that'll be interesting. I think Monica would keep it like a secret. If anything, she doesn't. She probably knew it in the original. Well, I mean, she did know it in the original Act One, but she still actually didn't even say it to the MC then. And now, without her sentience and powers or whatever, I doubt she'll say it as well. If anything, she'll drop hints to the MC, given he's not going to pick up on them. And if anything, just she wouldn't explicitly say it, but if she may end up trying to get the MC thinking, right? Because that would ultimately work out for the benefit of Sayori, who may not take action on her own part. But yeah, so there's that. That was the one notable interaction. Another is the MC and Monica at the post station or whatever, the post office, is obviously he needed to pick up his package, but Monica was there writing a letter to someone we now know, and someone she cares about. So either it could be a lover, family member, friend, one of the three. And we know likely it's a part of whatever grand plan is going on. We still don't really have any idea with regards to what that could be. We know it's being done for hers, and it's most likely that the letter is indeed a part of it. But we'll see. We'll see. Again, that's like the story element to this mod that we just ultimately will probably get bits and pieces until we're able to put together what it's actually about. And by then, it'll probably be happening, whatever it is. So yeah, and we didn't get an interaction in the night with Monica, which late or regarding the grand plan, which leads me to even more so think that the letter is somewhat of a part of it, and that would be continuing on from the previous nightly interaction we saw, or not even interaction, just monologue she had. But yeah, those were the two notable interactions. In the previous part, MC had both of his interactions with Sayori. Um, yeah, but those were in previous parts, so or both of the Act One interactions. Oh, the interesting thing was when they did walk home together, Sayori actually asked him about she gave the normal question in Act One about, oh, who'd you walk home with? And I think obviously if you go Yuri or Natsuki's route, she says them. If you go hers if you go hers, she says Monica. But she actually says all three in this route, which is interesting. And given the MC spent time with Yuri and Natsuki, and he's had even some interactions with Monica, it's almost like he's spending time with everyone. So it's not even really route based at this point. So I think that's really interesting. That's really good, or else it'll end up like Exit Music or Fallen Angel. But yeah, and then ultimately, yeah, he said we didn't even get a choice, and I don't think there'll be any choices in this mod, which doesn't mean it's a bad mod. Again, I mean, MC's Revenge had choices. It wasn't a good mod, but yeah, and the same applies to Inverse. This is a good mod without choices, and he just straight up said, yeah, I'd still go with you. So, which I guess that was the answer we would have picked regardless, even if we did get a choice. But we didn't, and it makes sense since we're on Siori's route. And then also she's starting to her persona is starting to fade. Her facade's starting to crack, right? Because this was the interaction where she was just, or this was the day, or the day in the club room where she was just in the corner not doing anything. So the MC, he saw through that. Unfortunately, because he actually he did. Oh, I remember, because he did go up to her once immediately upon sort of seeing her just in the corner. He said like, you good? And she's like, yeah, go spend time with theirs. And then he does, and then he asked Monica about it, and that's when Monica talks to Sayori, and they have that interaction where she reveals explicitly that she is a thing for him. And then ultimately, he actually goes to see her again, but he really should have stayed with her the second time. The first time I'll let it slide, but he should have stayed with her the second time, and he didn't. That's where I ended it in the previous part. So yeah, we're continuing with that in this one. So yeah, and this is the custom artwork. I didn't even there's gonna be voices at some point, but I didn't know there'd be custom artwork. Oh yeah, because now what's it called? Wait, now Sayori's having a conversation with Natsuki. Cause yeah, he really should have stayed. Yeah, cause she literally was just about to like cry, like for him paying attention to her. So like he really should have stayed with her, and he didn't, which is like really. I mean, come on. We know they need to avoid her suicide for it to be her episode. So he'll need to do something. I think it'll most likely happen during the whatever meeting that because they seem as if the weekend may go differently as opposed to, them all being individually. They apparently, or at least Sayori pitched the idea of a group thing. And if he does anything to prevent her suicide, because obviously that needs to happen for a round episode, it would likely be then and there. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. I completely lost track of what day it was in the mods, like Thursday or Friday. But yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens between now and then. And again, obviously, there's still poem sharing, so it'll be interesting because Sayori, her persona and facade definitely is fading, withering away. So it'll be cool to see. Again, some of my favorite parts of this mod is interactions between other characters as opposed to just the MC and Sayori, because obviously it's their episode, so they're gonna get a lot of interaction time. But see interactions between like Sayori and the other girls, or like even just and Monika's monologues regarding the whatever grand plan is in motion. That's pretty cool as well. Just stuff that kind of would normally take a side, like would normally be on the sidelines. It would take a side, what would you call it? I don't even know. Or they're just like they're just sort of a side point, really. But stuff like that can ultimately, some of that stuff can be the most like uplifting or the most or the background and context they provide, like especially with some of the interactions we've seen, like the very first interaction, stuff like that as well. I guess it's not even really sidelining or like a side point or like a side interaction, because at that point the MC wasn't even part of the club. But stuff like that, like the side interactions can really uplift the mod in like the entirety of the mod, and that's, you don't even need to interfere with the main interactions for that. So it's good that this mod's really focusing on that, and because I feel like it's a lot of wasted potential when it doesn't. So no poem today. Oh, I don't know, I'm ignoring this, but yeah, because like if you have mods where it solely focuses on, if it's like a route, well, not even route based mod, if it's a character focused mod that focuses on one character and it solely focuses on like the MC and that character, then there's a lot of lost um there's a lot of lost potential there. Like Fallen Angel is a clear example. It only focuses on the MC and Yuri. Just the other characters are literally just all sidelined. Monka's evil for no reason, as per usual in a lot of those types of mods. Sayori literally just thrown under the bus until Yuri from the afterlife tells him he needs to spend time. Like, also massive spoilers. Natsuki just not even really a part of it. Like, there's in generally the mods that sideline the most characters are generally also worse. Like, hold on, I just realized. There we go. Yeah, generally the mods that sideline the characters the most also do the worst or are just the worst. Again, Fallen Angel, good example. Exit Music, also good example. Like those types of mods, like let's say I'm gonna say Summer Hope, Outcast, which don't do that, generally do better, even if there's less like aesthetic, less like raw emotion in the mods, stuff like that. The mods that generally focus on the side characters as well, along with the side interactions, generally do better, and ultimately taking advantage of everything in the mod, right? Like every single interaction thus far has had a purpose, and this mod's done really well as a result. Like, I mean, from the get-go, the very first interaction had a purpose, and ultimately just that sort of mindset, utilizing every part, like all the characters, everything, like not just sidelining everything else. That generally leads to a good mod. I mean, it's, in a sense, the bar is set pretty low for creating a mod, but some mods don't even make it there. Again, I guess that's enough ranting. Yeah, that's just my typical Fallen Angel Exit Music rant. Huh? Oh yeah, did Sayori actually write I'm not no, I'm pretty sure Sayori writes a poem for the last day of the first week even. I'm pretty sure she still writes a poem. Oh no, I didn't get it done. Oh, so she doesn't. All right. And yeah, that'd be somewhat suspicious for Natsuki because all the other girls are kind of on to her. Well, now Monica explicitly knows that she is a thing for the MC, but even besides that, they're all on to her regarding her own mental state. And with her second poem, seemingly, sacrificing her own happiness for the happiness of everyone else, right? Sorry. Well, okay. I guess that gives you more time to admire mine then. Yeah, because obviously Natsuki, she didn't see the interaction between Sayori and the MC, so she doesn't know that Sayori is kind of like on the brink of collapse right now. She's like on a brink of a mental breakdown. But yeah, I mean, that'd be something that she'd probably be, or well, I normally expect her to get suspicious of. But I guess if there's anyone who'd get suspicious over that, it'd probably be Monica, especially since Sayori explicitly told her, about her feelings. But I guess that would kind of be what you would chalk it up to then. But yeah. Hey, are you okay? And then yeah, just her sort of demeanor. Natsuki's catching on. You seem kind of, I don't know, out of it. Yeah. Oh, I'm just tired. With playing the festival and all, like exhausted. But obviously, with the poems Natsuki's seen and with the suspicion she has on her, it's gonna take more than that to convince her that, Sayori's actually okay. It's taken a lot out of me. Yeah, I bet. Seems like a pretty big job. But I know you and Monica have a good plan. We'll all work to make it a great festival for all of us. Because, yeah, Natsuki's actually on board with it. If there's anyone who's going to not be on board, it's Yuri. But Natsuki's clearly on board. So, despite, her initial opposition, we were looking forward to getting together with everyone this weekend. We haven't all really hung outside of school before. It'll be fun. And, yeah, they're talking about maybe as opposed to everyone individually meeting, it's just one giant group meeting. And that would be interesting. And that'd likely be where the MC will be able to, save Sayori effectively to sort of prevent her death. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it as well. Maybe I'll write a poem to share with everyone since I don't have one today. That'd be pretty good. Haha, sure. Can't wait to read it. Speaking of which, here's my poem for today. It's the beach, because this is the beach. It's the one where both she and Yuri actually write about it. The beach. Yeah, it was Yuri's idea. That's what I mean. Since we wound up writing about the same thing yesterday, we decided to pick a topic we could both write about. It's a little longer than I had intended. It's a little out of my comfort zone. But it's good to branch out, I guess. It is. And again, this just I plan on replaying New Eyes at some point, but New Eyes just gave me a completely different perspective on the characters of Yuri and Natsuki. Because before I didn't really care for them, and now it's like that mod gave me a completely different perspective on them. Longer Roads gave me a completely different perspective on Monica. Sayori, obviously, there's actually, have I played the most Sayori mods? I don't even know. Yeah, maybe because I played Rain Clouds. Relapse was a Sayori mod. Salvation was part Sayori. It's like Sayori Monica-ish. Which I thought there was obviously Longer Road, Sayori's route. I don't know, maybe not. I don't know. But yeah, Sayori, it's always kind of like her sort of, since her issues are made explicit in the original game very well, it's sort of harder to branch out with her character than just, the issues that are already present. But like Yuri and Natsuki, where their issues aren't made as explicit in the original game, or they aren't given as much time, it gives a bit more creativity with them. And then Monica obviously probably poses the most issues when coming up with the mod, which is why the mods have, or why she has the least amount of mods. But obviously the good mods at least generally just do away with the sentience and then focus on, problems from there on out. So, but yeah, I guess, I don't know. I hope Yuri's influence isn't rubbing off on me. I mean, if I start writing like her, it'd take forever to finish reading out poems. Yeah, it's like, well, damn, you might as well take up like an entire notebook. Let's see, and Sayori Natsuki. Who is this about? Oh, damn it. Okay, I fucked up. I should have read the poem because I didn't know what hold on, I'm gonna read the poem because this is actually interesting. I was like, okay, because I was under the assumption that Yuri and Natsuki's poems wouldn't really be interesting, or at least it wouldn't be interesting with sort of a Sayori interaction. I always read Sayori and Monika's specifically because Sayori's obviously her own, this is her route, her episode. It'll be good to sort of dissect her poems and what the other girls make of it. And then Monika's, again, that raised the question of sentience, but then it's seeming like, no, she isn't in fact sentient. And then her issues are likely related to something else in whatever this grand plan is for. But yeah, I mean, the beach, okay, I completely, okay, yeah, I actually want to read this just because, I didn't know it was, actually an interesting one. So let's see. I'll be your beach. Your mind so full of troubles and fears that diminish your wonder over the years. But today I have a special place, a beach for us to go. A shore reaching beyond your sight, a sea that sparkles with brilliant light. The walls in your mind will melt away before the sunny glow. I'll be the beach that watches your worries away. I'll be the beach that you daydream about each day. I'll be the beach that makes your heart leap in a way you thought had left you long ago. Let's bury your heavy thoughts in a pile of sand, bathe in sunbeams and hold my hand. Wash your insecurities in the salty sea and let me see you shine. Let's leave your memories in a footprint trail. Let's set you free in my windy sail. And remember the reasons you're wonderful. When you press your lips to mine, hold up. I'll be the beach that washes your worries away. I'll be the beach that makes you daydream about each day. I'll be the beach that makes your heart leap in a way you thought had left you long ago. But if you let me by your side, your own beach, your own space, you'll learn to love yourself again. I thought this was about Sayori, but then it's either about Sayori or the MC. That's why it's like, yeah, but I'm more curious about Sayori's comment. And that's like, who is this about? That's why I'm like, I thought it was about it's either about Sayori or the MC. I feel like that's fairly obvious. Maybe the MC, I don't know, because if you remember to the original Act 1, if you go a character's route, they give a different poem on the third day. So like if you go Yuri's route, she'll give you a different poem on the third day than if you were to go Natsuki's route. Like that was something that I actually caught up on in Act 1. Obviously doesn't apply to Sayori because she doesn't have a poem for the last day. I completely forgot about that. But at least for Yuri or Natsuki, if you go their route, they'll give you a different poem than if otherwise. So if you go Yuri's route, Yuri will give you her route poem. Natsuki will give you a normal poem. If you go Natsuki's route, Natsuki will give you her route poem, and Yuri will give you a normal poem. There's 2 different poems for their last day interaction in the club, and whether or not you go your route determines which poem you get. So this is either the Natsuki route poem or not. But yeah, it's either about Sayori or the MC. I don't actually know. I thought it was about Sayori, but then obviously the lips line that makes it seem otherwise. But I actually, it could be about either. And we've seen in all these routes or all these games, for whatever reason, like a lot of the games have the MC going Natsuki's route. So it could easily be about the MC. I don't really know why, to be honest. Like it seems every single, like even in the story-based games, he goes Natsuki's route. It just seems like in every single game, he goes Natsuki's route. I don't know why. That just seems to be the case. Like Rain Cleanse, went Natsuki's route. New Eyes went, like literally, for whatever reason, every single mod, it seems like he goes Natsuki's route. So it could very well be, but I guess I don't know. I don't know. We're not even on her route or episode though. So, but yeah, just for whatever reason, it seems like every single mod, like he goes Natsuki's route. Huh? Oh well, no one in particular. It isn't Raven, is it? It probably is, because I thought it was about. I'm kind of an idiot for thinking it was about Sayori, but yeah, it's clearly about the MC here. So that's interesting on the part of Sayori, because again, she revealed to Monica, explicitly that she is the thing for the MC, and I actually think Sayori was suspicious about Natsuki having a thing for the MC as well, and obviously they're have similar tastes and interests, right? I guess that's kind of, but Sayori has even more similar tastes and interests to the MC and childhood friends, but I guess I don't know. I don't know why every mod's a Natsuki route. Okay, like I don't understand, but that's just how it is generally. Yeah, but then that's interesting because the MC spent time with everyone this mod, and it still seems like gravitating towards Natsuki, I guess, or at least Natsuki is gravitating towards him, despite because normally you'd only spend time with one person, right? So you're your Natsuki route-based mod, right? You gotta pick a route, but he spent time with everyone, like I said, which is why I'm hesitant to call this a route-based mod at this point. That it seems to be because Longer Roads was definitely route-based, but you still spend time with everyone. That seems to be the case here, even more so. Like we may not, well, obviously the MTC has spent the most time with Sayori, but they aren't, explicitly a thing yet. So ultimately, yeah, right now he's just kind of spending time with everyone, and Natsuki seems to be afflicted by it. So, and she seems to be gravitating towards the MC, and that's interesting because Yuri nor Monica has shown the same. So maybe this is sort of a precursor to a setup for a Natsuki route, which is why I was talking about it earlier, right? How like every mod's a Natsuki route. I don't know why. Like every mod like has a Natsuki route, but I don't know. That may be what this is saying up for, but obviously we're on Sayori's route in episode, so obviously we're going to end up with her. So she needs to beat Natsuki to the punch, but obviously, again, like I said, she made it explicit to Monica. She has a thing for the MC. Monica probably doesn't know about Natsuki, But yeah, this is what Sayori was worried about. Ultimately, someone else, and she actually did specifically talk about Natsuki and Natsuki having similar tastes and interests in MC, and maybe they becoming a thing, right? But obviously, now that it's actually happening, it's a problem, and she does need to beat her to the punch. So, I mean, what makes you say that? Well, you two are at lunch with each other. And again, this is interesting. I actually like this. I like how there are some interactions that take place outside of the player's POV. I know that doesn't happen with many mods. I think it happened a decent amount in Salvation, but that's the only one I explicitly remember. But that mod's also weird because everyone gained sentience. But it was still a good mod nonetheless. But yeah, I like how, because that means, because normally the player has all the power, right? Because he controls the flow of time. But with interactions and events happening outside the player's POV, that's actually really interesting. And I think that's something that's not taken advantage of enough. This is such a I'm glad, because I was originally not going to play it because it didn't have a mod route, or just to wait until it got one. But it's actually a really great mod regardless. Like, it's just, there's more positives just coming on throughout the mod, right? Or more benefits, like, just as the mod progresses, which is really nice. Literally the exact opposite of MC's Revenge. But yeah, I really like how they're having these interactions outside of the POV of the player, because obviously you wouldn't see this interaction because it's mainly focused on Sayori. So, but again, the fact that it happened does, like, sort of provide the background context. That's what this mod's done really well, provide background and context for a lot of things. But, and you both like mod, well, I mean, you two would make a great couple. And she said that before. She said that to the MC. Now she's saying that to Natsuki, because Natsuki seemingly made a slip up here. Like, she seemingly made it too obvious it was about the MC, and now Sayori's caught on more than anyone else. And again, that puts Sayori in a rough position, because again, we talked about Sayori's ulterior motive, ultimately gain the MC to meet someone else so that she can exit his life, right? Her own too. But yeah, obviously, if she were to be saved or on her round episode, she would need to beat Natsuki to the punch. So I think it's going to be really interesting to see what happens this weekend. There's going to be a lot that's going to happen this weekend. Obviously, because this is a dynamic, it's seeming to set up for a Natsuki route. And then obviously there's also, the festival and how the MC actually is going to save Sayori. What? Well, I mean, I am pretty great. She's just like, nah, he's a loser. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if you felt that way about me. I mean, now she's just glowing at this point. But it's not like I wrote this for him or anything. I mean, why do you care? Oh, it's nothing, Natsuki. Yeah, now that's the fakest of smiles that she could ever put on. But yeah, now it's like, it's nothing really. Just put it out of your mind. I'm just glad you two are becoming friends, that's all. That, he's actually getting to know others. Oh, well, thanks. But here's the thing. Because that's actually a tough position for Natsuki as well. Because I think Natsuki's suspicious of Sayori, having a thing for the MC as well. Obviously, Monica knows because Sayori explicitly told her. But Natsuki only knows implicitly via her poem. So that's a tough position for Natsuki. Because again, that's kind of like, if you and your friend both like the same person, it's like, you need to tread carefully with that. At best, it works out. You end up with them and you're still friends, right? Or even if your friend ends up with them, you're still all like good friends. Worst case scenario, worst case scenario, none of you are friends. You lose whoever you like, you lose your friend. Worst case scenario, it's an all or nothing bid, basically. Everything's on the line here. And because again, we know Sayori, like, this is like as close to explicitly as stating it as you can on Natsuki's part. So she's not really doing that much to hide it. But again, she's also suspicious of Sayori as well. Now Sayori's obviously suspicious of Natsuki, but it seemed like that was from the beginning, and now it's only confirming, because she did tell the MC, she was seemingly setting up for a Natsuki route then, and now it's actually kind of being realized. So, I mean, he's still a dummy. Okay. right. Here, oh, do you not have a poem for today, Sayori? No, not today. And it'll be interesting because she seems, obviously that's clearly going to take and have an impact on her, right? Now that it's actually being realized that a Natsuki route could potentially be a thing. Natsuki could potentially get at the MC. Sorry, Yuri. Oh, well, I was interested in reading some more of your poetry. I understand sometimes life's pressure weighs us down to the point that we cannot take part in what we enjoy. That's true, right? Perhaps something is bothering you? I'm just having one of those days, Just a little rain cloud, as I like to say. Now she's actually using this phrase with everyone as opposed to just the MC. Oh dear. Well, I do understand. I'm prone to those as well. Oh, what do you do when you feel like this, Yuri? Oh, it's her hobby that she told you she'd talk about later. That's why it's like, well, I have some rather unusual ways to bring myself out of a bad mood. It's a literal psychological trick. For example, I have my aromatherapy. That's not the main thing though. I found that a good dose of jasmine oil can help lift the spirits. If you're feeling ill, you could add a dose of thieves oil to help you feel better. I have no idea what that is. Hold on, I'm gonna Google that. I'm gonna Google that. I was gonna say like, well, she has other means that she's not saying. She may tell. She may tell later, but let's see. How do you spell thieves? All right, thieves oil. Is that an actual thing? Let's see. Okay, let's see. Essential oil. What does it do though? $47. Jesus Christ. Where does Yuri get all this money? I don't know. That's yeah. I'm not even okay. That's waste of time. But yeah, again, so that'd be interesting if Yuri actually does open up to Sayori, because normally it's always the characters opening up to the MC. But we saw Sayori open up to Monica about it. And it'd be interesting if Yuri actually does end up opening to Sayori about her, you know, her cutting addiction, right? Because obviously that's the main way she brings herself out of a bad mood. Literal psychological feel like I could loan you a diffuser and a few oils. Thanks, Yuri, but I don't know if oils and aromas are my thing. Because obviously, they both get in a rut, but it's for different reasons, right? So yours is more so, or Yuri's is more so due to just being lonely. So yours is more so due to her own depression, right? And her own depression is kind of like self-worth. Or I guess Yuri's is more related to anxiety and like self-image. Yuri's, or Sayori's is depression and self-worth. So they have different coping mechanisms for each, right? Well, Sayori doesn't really have a coping mechanism, which is why, honestly, I'm going to put it out, an unhealthy coping mechanism is better than none in a situation like this, right? But okay, in that case, perhaps you could try skimming into a good book. I know Mox has been helping you with poetry, but have you been reading more since you joined Literature Club? Well, no, not really. Oh, Sayori, there are so many worlds and horizons you have yet to explore. I found that while I'm engrossed in a good book, all my troubles seem to float away. And recently, I found it delightful to discuss why I'm reading with someone else. Raven, oh my God, Raven and I have been reading through one of my favorite books together and discussing it. But this is, obviously, this is the issue. Because now, is Sayori going to bring up the MC and Yuri? Is the freaking MC going to go everyone's route? Is he going to get with everyone? Because, like, yeah, obviously he's been spending time with everyone. And specifically, Natsu's poem was about the MC, and Sayori took note of that. But just this line may have Sayori potentially also like try to, you know, maybe it's hinting towards her, you know, a Yuri route potentially, or that the MC may also, or Yuri may also be a good fit for the MC as well. So enlightening to have a different view of what I'm reading. I must thank you, Sayori, for inviting me. It's been a wonderful addition to our little club. Yeah, you're welcome. Anyway, why don't you read my poem? Perhaps it'll help put you in a better mood. See, beach, a marvel millions of years in the making. Okay, Jesus Christ. Where the womb of earth chastically. Is that no? It's chastically meets the surface under a clear blue sky, an expanse of bliss. But beneath gray rolling clouds, an endless enigma. The easiest world to get lost in is one where everything can be found. One can only build a sandcastle where the sand is what the tide comes. Will it gently look at your foundations until you give in, or will a sudden wave send you crashing down in the blink of an eye? Either way, the outcome's the same. Yet we still build sandcastles. I stand where the foam wraps around my ankles, where my toes squish into the sand. The salty air is therapeutic. The breeze is gentle yet powerful. Sink my toes into the ultimate boundary line, tempted by the foamy tendrils. Turn back and I abandon my peace to erode at the shore. Drift forward and I return to earth forevermore. Okay. Oh, the beach. How fun. Yes, this came from a discussion I had with Natsu, which she already knows. Our poems yesterday were somewhat similar, so we decided to pick a topic for us both to write about. I have fond memories of the beach, so they seemed like a good subject to write about. Oh, really? Sounded like there was a story here. Well, it isn't important. You don't need to be bored with the details. Don't read too much between the lines. Oh, no, Yuri. You said yesterday that you tell me more about yourself. That's why it's like, yeah, that's literally what she was about, ultimately reading between the lines. I did, didn't I? Well, if you insist. When I was younger, my parents would often take me to the beach. It was something I looked forward to so much. The images from the poem were all from my personal experience. Building sandcastles, smelling the salty air, feeling the sand between my toes. These experiences stay with me throughout my life. After my father left. Oh, wow. We're actually getting some, because I was like, it doesn't seem to be about the MC. So maybe this isn't indicative of a Yuri route. I guess it would make sense. The MC can only go one person's route. And if it's setting up for a Natsuki route, obviously that won't be what it ends up. But that seems to be what the story is setting up. Obviously something needs to happen to prevent that and to save Sayori, likely at the same time. Sayori being Natsuki to the punch, the MC figuring out something along those lines. But if it is setting up for a Natsuki route, even if it doesn't follow through, that logically that means, oh, Yuri can't also be setting up for a Yuri route. So it's focusing more on, as opposed to Yuri and the MC, more so her backstory, right, in her life. And that's interesting because we know in New Eyes that's kind of in New Eyes that's also what they this is also the case in New Eyes, where her father left and then ultimately her mother's always away. So stuff like that, and that seemed to have a deep impact on her. My mother wasn't able to take me to the beaches often. Over time, these sensations came to define my childhood. They are in a sense very sweet, as is Sayori. So good and bad? Yes. Good because they represent a happy time in my life, but also sad because of how much my life has changed since then. Because things are different now. And now you can't go back to how they were. Because again, Sayori feels the exact same way, granted about a different thing, but they're actually more similar than you'd think. Because obviously there's similarities between Natsuki and Sayori, but now this is saying up the similarities between Sayori and Yuri. Yes, Sayori. They're all more similar than you would think. That's precisely what I mean. Yeah, I understand. More than you know. It's like more than you can know. I don't have a poem for today, Monica. And again, I'm interested to see this interaction. Again, given what Monica now knows about Sayori. That's fine, Sayori. I know poetry is probably the last thing on your mind today. I just want to make sure you're okay again. Because this is now what Monica's on. Or like what Monica's focused about. It's not like, as at this point, poetry is like the last thing, right? Oh, I'm fine, Monica. See? Happy face. That's the fakest, like, smile in existence. She's like, yeah, you could do that, but does that really mean you're happy, though? It's like, if you say so, but you don't need to be happy all the time, But making people happy is what I do, but at what cost? That's my reason for being here. Sayori, it isn't your job to make everyone happy, especially if you aren't focusing on your own happiness. And again, this harkens back to her second poem. See, but making other people happy is what makes me happy. That's not exactly how it works. Sayori, there's nothing wrong with making other people happy, but if that's the only thing you strive to do, you'll lose yourself in other people's expectations. Because again, this is saying up the similarities between Monica and Sayori. Because this is how Monica used to be. Obviously, she didn't have clinical depression or a loss of self-worth, but it got to her head, and that's exactly why she started the club and why she left the debate club, why she left sort of that side, to partake more in like these sort of activities. Like that's specifically why she left and why she started the club. So we can't always depend on ours to make us happy. Despite what people may say, they can't always be there for you. They come into your life and then just leave just as suddenly. This seems to be some Monica backstory, like some Monica past experience. Like maybe this is somewhat related to her grand plan. It's best just to focus on yourself instead. You have to learn to find your own happiness. I don't know if I can do that, Monica. See, sometimes life doesn't give us a choice. Anyway, and again, so I'm really interested to see what this grand plan is about. And seemingly this is a glimpse into it, right? This is seemingly a glimpse into it. Besides this, and that's really interesting because besides establishing similarities between Monica and Sayori, it's also seemingly a glimpse into the grand plan and her motives behind it. Whatever it is, we still don't know it yet. And also just, some Monica backstory and her own past experiences, kind of similar to what Sayori and Yuri's conversation was just about. I mean, what I said earlier, Sayori, please come talk to me if you're having trouble, okay? Okay. Hey, Monica? Yes, Sayori. I'm really looking forward to meeting up this weekend. And again, because we know, because in the actual Act 1, they all meet individually, but now it's a collective group meeting. And it'll be interesting to see what happens with that, because a lot's going to need to happen with that in order to actually save Sayori, prevent her death, and then also ultimately, presumably, get on her route. So let's talk about it after we are done reading poems. Oh, they didn't. Okay, they just straight up didn't even read it. Okay. All right, guys, now we've read our poems. We need to discuss festival preparations. We all know what our jobs are, right? I know what I'm doing. That's right. Nancy will be making cupcakes. Yep, all sorts of different flavors. You will be preparing decorations for our club room. A room full of decorations adorned with your beautiful handwriting will really enhance the atmosphere, of course. After all, I love atmosphere. Aha, don't we all? Well, I mean, it's what allows us to breathe. And Sarah, you're in charge of pamphlets. Yep, I've got lots of happy designs ready. We'll be rolling members in no time. I also said Sayori suddenly perked up and is acting like her old self again. her fake self. I don't know if I should be relieved to see her acting normal again. That's not a relief. If it's like it's not a relief if it's just like on and off. Like if anything, that shows that if she can switch that quickly, then that's kind of a concern. Oh, I clicked off the screen. Or concern that her mood change. You should be. It's almost like she's putting out a front. And now he's even getting suspicious of her entire persona, right? Like, so what time do we need to come over, Monica? Come over where? Oh, you weren't paying attention, were you? This is, oh my God, girls' night. And plus MC, honorary female. Do I ever? Monica's invited all of us to her house tomorrow, so we can work on various projects together. Yeah, this is, as opposed to me and individually there, instead me and his group. To be honest, that probably would have been a good bet in the original Act 1 as well, as opposed to everyone doing their own parts individually, meeting together to prepare. Because, I mean, also you can help rehearse your poems as well. And that would have helped with Natsuki and especially Yuri's confidence regarding it. So if we help each other, the work will go much faster. Plus, you'll be a splendid opportunity to get to know each other outside of school and practice your poems, right? Because, Natsuki and Yuri, they've committed, and they're ultimately the big worries. So let's see. Yep. Lots of discussing what we're reading, poetry. And it'll be bacon, so there'll be plenty of desserts to go around. Yay, a whole day for all of us to hang out. Wow. So do you have room for your newest member, right? It's like, so this does it not include myself? A whole day of nothing but sweets and pretty girls. He's honorary female. Twist my arm. Plus, I have to admit, I'm a bit curious to see what Monica's house looks like. And before it's like a studio apartment, and it's like, this is it. It's like just like some shitty rundown like attic. Actually, guys, that's the thing I need to talk to you about. I can't have you all over this weekend. Oh, wait, what? So, okay, what's actually happening? So what's actually happening then? So like, is it not happening? Wait, who led off this conversation? Okay, yeah, so she was talking about everyone's, oh, I see, okay. So yeah, she told everyone their roles, and then Sayori talks about everyone coming over. And I guess that harkens back to Monica and Sayori. It's like, yeah, Sayori's like, I'm really looking forward to meet up, and she's like, well, let's talk about that after we're done reading. And then so it's not happening then. Wow. I assumed it was happening, and I assumed like, oh yeah, whatever meetup, that's when everything will sort of get solved and get situated or sorted out. And it would just be sort of like one day-long interaction with all of them. But if that's not happening, that's like, okay, because Sayori brought it up, and Monica was on board with the idea. She even confirmed it. I'm going to be honest. So, okay, that's also failure of leadership on Monica for not explicitly or for not stating that, they weren't going to do it sooner, especially given how much Sayori was looking forward to it. Because Sayori's the one who gets screwed out of this the most, potentially Yuri as well, because it'd be a good opportunity for her to practice plot. Sayori definitely more so, because this is really what she was looking forward towards, especially given her current state, and now it's just being taken away. Like Monica, she really should have said, as soon as she realized it, she wouldn't be able to do it, like she should have said it then. She shouldn't have waited till like the last minute, but yeah, obviously she's not able to do it in relation to whatever grand plan is going on. Like, again, this just grand plan that's sort of going on in the background that's influencing some of, the events, influencing her actions. I assume it's related to that, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see like, oh, but the preparations. It'll be interesting to see, her reasoning, because she needs to give an explanation. And we know or more likely than not, it's related to whatever grand plan is going on. But it will be interesting to see what she says, because maybe that gives a little more insight into the grand plan. Yeah, Monica, what gives? We're supposed to use that time to get all our stuff done. Because that's really is on like sort of failure of leadership there. She should have told them as soon as she realized she wouldn't be able to do it, as opposed to like right now at the last minute. Look, guys, I'm really sorry, but something important suddenly came up. I can't really go into details right now, but believe me, I never have called off or get together for anything else. But the decorations I plan will really benefit from the input of our people. Everyone can get together besides Monica. Hey, get together at the MC's house with Sayori, Natsuki, and Yuri. The synergy produced the group work would really add to the presentation. Yeah, the baking for so many people takes a long time. I mean, I could do it by myself, but it'd be so much easier with help. Yeah, and just like that, Sayori's cheerful mask drops away. Again, because we know she got screwed out of this more than anyone else, and she's looking forward to this. I'm really interested in the grand plan. Because we have basically zero info on that, other than it's being done for Monica and someone else that she cares about, Could be lover, family, friends, something, but we just don't know. And it's something that's going on in the background, influencing events, influencing interactions, and we get some insight, just not enough, right? Hmm. It's so interesting because obviously Monika's not sentient, so she's not doing it to screw over Sayori, or seemingly she's not sentient. But even if she was, it's not right indicative as of now that she's doing it to screw over Sayori. So that can't be the case. It's legitimately for whatever grand plan is going on, and ultimately she probably doesn't have a choice regarding doing the meeting or canceling the meeting. It's ultimately just, again, I'd say as leader, like you should really communicate that as soon as you know, as opposed to waiting to the last minute. Because even though you think it may be better to wait till right before to cancel it, or just while everyone's in person, if you immediately learn you can't do it, send it over text, because they can start to make plans during that time and get their own part done as opposed to relying on each other. So my sense of unease hasn't gone away. I was really looking forward to it. I know, Sayori, we all are. Well, that deflated and moved fast. I guess this means preparation for a festival are going to be a lot harder now, unless, hey guys, just a thought. Like, that's why I was like, the MC can step in here. He's like, obviously Monica can't host it, but he can. Is Sayori, Natsuki, and Yuri can all come over. Why don't we move it to my house? Well, that got their attention. Oh, that's a lot of responsibility to take all of a sudden. Well, everyone else has a job to do. I'm pretty much useless when it comes to that kind of stuff. So I might as well provide the place for everyone to meet up and get their projects done. And I mean, that makes the most sense. Like, Monica may be suspicious because, I guess, I don't know, because besides worrying about the grand plan, she needs to worry about the festival too, because she's leader of the club. But obviously, this is definitely the second best choice. If she can't host it, then obviously the MC, because again, he's not doing anything regardless. And so long as everyone gets their jobs done, she as leader doesn't really need to worry about the actual festival itself. So it's really the least I can do. Maybe I can lay a hand to whoever needs it. No offense, but your house isn't really as big as Monica's, and there's one less person. I don't know if we'd all have enough room to spread out to do our projects. Huh? Good to know. I have a suggestion. Perhaps if the space available isn't big enough for all of us, we could come over one at a time. Like, his house is more than big enough. We know this. It's only for 4 people as well. So it's like 5 people, okay, maybe. But if Monica is not going to come over, then only 4, that's definitely the case. So damn, I guess Monica just lives in a mansion. I mean, if there won't be a burn on Rain's time, of course. I mean, a bold suggestion, but I mean, like, I don't see the reason not to. Like, the 4 people, like, his house should be more than big enough for that. Not really. I was just going to spend the weekend. He's like, okay, yeah, that actually sounds like a good idea. Expanding my literary horizons, that sort of thing. But Monica knows what he's going to do because she saw the case of anime. Came up with that suggestion pretty quick, didn't you, Yuri? What? Okay, now Natsuki. Okay, this mod is definitely trying to set it for a Natsuki route. Obviously, it's not going to follow through because we're on Sayori's episode. But Natsuki, like, lashing out at Yuri, like, what is this uncalled for? I mean, this is a suggestion. Obviously, it could be indicative of something else, but it's still like a valid suggestion. Like, I don't know why Natsuki's lashing out Yuri. Of course you were. Well, whatever. I'll come over on Saturday morning. Damn, Sayori knows exactly what time. Like, she beat Natsuki to the punch there. Everyone's just like, Sayori. I mean, I live the closest, so it makes sense that I should come over first, right? I don't think anyone's going to argue with that. I mean, she beat everyone else to the punch, so okay, well, I'll come over Saturday afternoon then. Actually, Natsuki, I think it'd probably be best if you went to Raven's house sometime on Sunday. For the cupcakes, of course. What? Why? Well, you'll be baking, won't you? If you bake on Saturday, if we want to sit all day Sunday, it might lose flavor. You see, it'd be best if I went to Raven's house on Saturday afternoon and you went on Sunday. Oh, Yuri. Natsuki desperately tries to find counter to your suggestion, but seems to be well argued. To be honest, Natsuki started that. I don't know why she freaking lashed out at Yuri here. Like, that was really uncalled for. I think I just witnessed a strategy game for the ages. Fine. You take Saturday, and Raven and I will bake cupcakes on Sunday. I'll see him last before the festival. But nice recovery by Natsuki. And what's going on? Like, what's happening? All right, it looks like you and Raven will make the pamphlets Saturday morning. You and Raven will make the decorations on Saturday afternoon. Good intervening by Monica. Like, I really don't know why they're arguing. Like, this lash by Natsuki was completely uncalled for, and now they're actually, like, arguing about what times. Like, and Natsuki and Raven will bake the cupcakes on Sunday. Are you sure you're up to this? I'm looking forward to it. Let's see. I've got a lot of ideas on how we can enhance our club space. Yeah, I'll be sure to stick you with the dirty work. Okay. I stand tall and put on my most confident look. I think I'm up to the task. I may not survive this. He's like, this was a mistake. I don't see why they couldn't all come over at once. Like, his house isn't that much smaller, and it's one less person anyway. I'm genuinely curious whatever Monica's going to do instead. And obviously it's in relation to the grand plan, but I'm curious whatever that grand plan is. But I'm curious about that more than anything else. I take some time to exchange numbers with Yuri and Natsuki, as well as get instructions on what supplies to get. I gather up my stuff and start heading for a door, and Monica pulls me aside. Hey, I just want to thank you for volunteering your time like that. It really means a lot to me that you're stepping up. Yeah, because obviously we know because presumably she doesn't have a choice in canceling, because clearly it's in relation to whatever grand plan is going on. But ultimately, you know, it really is a good call on the MC there, making himself useful. Hey, no problem. Let's see. I mean, it'll be fun seeing what everyone is like outside of school. I think I'm kind of getting into this festival prep. Well, I'm glad to hear that. I wish I could join you guys this weekend. Yeah, so what exactly is happening with you this weekend anyway? And presumably she can give slightly more insight to the MC one-on-one as opposed to everyone. But again, clearly we know it's in relation to whatever grand plan is going on. I don't really want to say in case it turns out to be nothing, but I'll say it has the potential to be life-changing. What grand plan? So the grand plan is literally life-changing. I have no idea what this grand plan. I'm so curious, because it's something I don't know now, but obviously once we figure out, it'll be curious as to oh, so that's what was going on the whole time. Well, good luck with whatever it is. Thanks. Oh, let's see. Yeah, you're probably not. Jesus, you probably noticed that the R's have quite the competition going where you are concerned. Wait, what? Oh, you've probably noticed that the R's have quite the competition going where you are concerned. Gee, Monica, I haven't noticed. Just be careful with their feelings, okay? Yeah, she's like, because here's the thing, Monica, she knows, because Sayuri explicitly told her, right? She probably can assume that Natsuki and Yuri are similar, but she's saying this more so for Sayuri. Because again, she's the most worried about Sayuri right now. So this, obviously she can't spill the Sayuri's secret, but she can, again, guide the MC. She can get him thinking, and this is what she's doing. This is clearly for Sayuri here, of course. Man, what have I got myself into? I don't know why they didn't all go once. I really don't know why. With one less person, there's no way his house is that small. I mean, I won't lie. The idea of Perigo's parading in and out of my house all weekend is pretty appealing. But I'm starting to worry. Maybe in over my head when it comes to this particular group. But besides, I'm still worried about Sayori. Again, that should be his main priority right now, his main focus. Ready to go, Sayori? Sayori? And she already left. Sayori must have slipped out when I was getting Yuri and Natsuki's info. Because, again, now he's getting everyone's info. Because normally he'd only get one person's, whether it be, or he would only get either Yuri or Natsuki's. But now he's getting both because he's actually going to spend time with everyone, including Sayori. So it'll be interesting to see ultimately what happens then. So I'm starting to get a bad feeling about this, how this weekend will play out. Yeah, I mean, he needs to save Sayori this weekend, whatever interaction he has, or else, he needs to save her from her suicide. Obviously something needs to happen to prevent that. And now it's kind of the last moments that it can. So yeah, it'll be really interesting to see again what happens, how this plays out. I don't even really care about Yuri and Natsuki's interactions. I'm more interested to see how his interaction with Sayori. I guess there isn't anything I can do except move forward, hope for the best. Okay, all right. What do I do? And yeah, now we're getting some, because again, every day we've gotten insight into the grand plan. We had Monica's monologue, her interaction with the MC at the post office, and now ultimately the info she just gave now. And since she had since she had the, since she had her moment with the grand plan, right? Or she had her interaction involving the grand plan. Right now, she doesn't need to have her nightly interaction. So we can take this time for Sayori and ultimately her thoughts before the next morning. Because again, she's scrambling to think of okay, ultimately what's going to happen. I have to do it tomorrow. I have to tell him how I feel. Because again, we know it's the last opportunity and she does it at the end of Act 1 regardless. So it really is the last opportunity because she needs to beat Natsuki to the punch. That's one. And then two, ultimately, this is just a last-ditch attempt. Because obviously her ulterior motive was to set him up with someone else so she could exit. But now that it's actually happening and being realized, she's kind of having a change of heart, right? So this is kind of her last-ditch attempt to do something. And if it doesn't work out, then she won't really have a choice but to follow through and exit his life. So if I don't, Yuri Natsuki will surely. Okay, Yuri's not even a contender here. I'm going to be honest. The mod's clearly setting up for a Natsuki route. So, but obviously, she would be more so worried about everyone else as opposed to, but as a player, we can easily tell that the mod's setting up for an Oski round, like every other mod. What should I do? Perhaps I should just tell him. Well, I mean, at some point you'll have to, right? Like, Raven, I love you. Okay, he's just saying it. Love you for as long as I can remember. Okay, yeah, that's perfect. Like, I mean, yeah, that's because like obviously it's something that you got to build up to, but once you actually drop it, it has to have meaning behind it. It can't just be like, oh yeah, it was the thing. It's not too big of a deal, right? Let's see, you're my comfort, the high point of every day. When I'm with you, the world isn't bleaky and cloudy. There's only light and laughter. Spend every day just waiting for the opportunity to see you again. Oh, please, say you love me too. Say you will hold me. Say you'll accept me. Accept me as the broken girl that I am. Broken, clumsy, stupid. And then again, this carousel, because her demeanor and own self-worth is what's kind of causing this to fall through. It's like, no, he never accept me. Not like this. Never like this. She just needs to say it and then let him take it from there. Because if she gets more so into, again, this line of thinking, this is what's going to happen. Oh, what can I do? How can I make him love me? Let's see. Oh, there's an idea. Let's see. What the hell? Do a search for harem anime. What the hell is going on? What's it? I don't even know what that is. I don't want to look it up. Like, do I look? What is going on? Like, I guess I swear to God, if she shows up and that's the direction this is gonna take, I actually have no clue what that is. Let's see, Genki girl. Let's see. Character usually a schoolgirl. Okay, it's let's see. I don't know. Yeah, okay. Just like a it's like a what's it called? Lesson 10. It's like just a better version of a tsundere or whatever. I swear to God, if she just shows up rolling up like this, please don't take that direction. Like, please, oh my God, is that actually what's gonna happen? No way. Please don't. Like, she literally just needs to show up and drop the ball and then see what happens. Like, that's literally what she has to do. But if that's the direction it's gonna take, oh my God. Saturday morning's here before I know it. I spent a lot of time getting the house ready. Figure if I'm going to have so many girls coming through this weekend, everything might as well look its best. Siori's coming over first, so we can make pamphlets together. While Siori's coming over isn't terribly unusual. I have to admit that I'm still feeling a little bit nervous about our arrival. I mean, yeah, because especially, sort of with him being suspicious of her, right? Like, he needs to be, and again, Monica's words, he needs to, be careful, right? And again, we as the player know, something needs to happen in order to save her now. So, like, in the interaction he has with her. So especially with that, with the stakes on the line, literally being lives. So I suppose some of it is the weird way she was acting yesterday. But if I'm being honest with myself, there may be a few other reasons as well. I've thought about this before, but I can't say it's bad spending so much extra time with her. Because again, he had the 2 interactions with her. The 2 Act 1 interactions, right? When he was fixing, when he was fixing up her outfit. And then they went to get supplies together, right? So that I've said, it may have caused the MC to realize something in himself. Because normally it's, what's it called? It's everyone coming to the MC, right? But it may do the inverse. And with the MC realizing something about Sayori. Maybe he beats Sayori to the punch. That would be interesting. That would be so interesting. Oh my God. In fact, I'm really starting to enjoy spending time with her. Of course, I've enjoyed spending time with the art club members as well, but I know for Sayori for so long that I haven't really thought of spending time with her as special. Lately, I'm kind of beginning to think of her a bit differently than when we were young. So it is showing that he himself, because normally it's everyone just going to the MC, right? It literally is just a harm, basically. But I mean, obviously, that's mod dependent. Like, but most of the times it's them coming to him, right? Them realizing something in themselves and coming to him. But it may be the inverse. The MC, he's starting to realize that there's something in himself for Sayori. He may realize that, and he may beat her to the punch. That would be so interesting. I wonder. That would be so interesting if that's actually how it plays out, huh? Oh no, I'm blind. What the hell is happening? Or dead. Why is the screen black? I'm dead and blind. I wave my arms in front of me, trying to stir my location, which caused me to fall on my chair and onto the floor. Why is the screen black? What is going on? Oh, I was like, what's happening? Oh, so I knew you didn't hear me come in. That's why I was like, what is going on? I thought the mod was actually just gonna like, I thought it was gonna freaking pull a relapse where he just like freaking like gets symptoms out of nowhere and then like it just never goes anywhere with that. What Sayori? She wants to snuck up behind me, cover my eyes with her hands. You, don't look so damn blind to me. Looks like Sayori's in a playful mood today. Lucky me. Is that really how it is, though? I wonder what. Oh my god! Please tell me it's not going in. You know, I'm gonna end it here. I'm genuinely curious to see this interaction because obviously something needs to happen during this interaction to save her. And freaking Genki, there's no way. Like, please. Looks like that's the directions he's going to take. Here's what's going to happen. I know what's going to happen. What Sayori needs to do is just drop the ball and see what happens. Okay, but that's not what's going to happen. She freaking Googled getting Harem Anime Genki Girl. Like, she's trying to set up. She's literally trying to put on a different persona that would attract him. He's going to call her out for it, and then they're going to have, like, a true interaction. Something along those lines. But, yeah, we'll see it. We'll see what happens. Yeah, it'll definitely be interesting. It'll be interesting. So, yeah, and I can't wait to see it. But, yep. I guess that's it for this one. See you in the next one.